Well, after a series of KALB investigations, the Alexandria City Council will have the chance to make changes to the city's code of ordinances that states when the city can or cannot turn off utilities during extreme weather conditions. We received a copy of the agenda for next Tuesday's council meeting that says the council will introduce an ordinance to revise the city's municipal codes with respect to termination of utility services. Now, this agenda item is in response to our investigation into the utility department after that we found that the city disconnected utility services to 83 residential customers back on June 26th. That's the same day a heat advisory was issued and the heat index reached 108 degrees. Now, currently, Alexandria does not have any rules or regulations that they are bound to regarding utility disconnections during extreme weather. We actually spoke to members of the city council yesterday who told us that they want to create strict guidelines that mirror those set by the Louisiana Public Service Commission. Under the LPSC, private utility companies like KALB are banned from cutting off utilities when a heat advisory is issued. Now, once this agenda item is introduced, the council could vote on these new changes at a meeting scheduled on August 8th.